First got my Fuji XE4, it actually came with a 23mm f2 lens, and frankly I was never really a big fan of it. I've always liked to shoot with a 50mm lens, no matter if it's a car photography, portrait, architecture, or any subject really, but in the past couple of weeks I've been very unmotivated to do anything that relates to photography. I don't know how or why I ended up doing the trade for my lens, but I ended up going back to 23mm f2 lens, and really I'm still not sure if that was a good idea, but I think it's a good challenge for me because it gives me a whole new perspective. After using a couple of times, I realized that it gives me a whole new perspective, and I realized that I have to change the way I take my photos. But I think what I realized the most is that after using the 23mm lens, I was able to focus more on the bigger picture rather than just the subject. So I've been using the 50mm lens ever since I started. I used the 50mm lens for car photography, portrait, and pretty much almost everything that I've done in the past. So the 23mm lens is definitely a whole new world for me, but using the lens actually helps me focus more on the whole picture. I've noticed that I've been focusing more on the foreground, the background, the subject, rather than just the subject. Before we continue, a big thank you to Factor for sponsoring the video. Factor is pretty much a ready-made meals delivered to your doorstep. Their chefs created meals that are fresh, never frozen, and designed by dietitian to ensure every meal is packed with premium science-backed nutritional quality. If you're like me, who works full-time plus do a lot of photography stuff on the side, and you don't have time to meal prep, then Factor is for you. And in addition, no more dishes and no more unhealthy fast food. Factor's menu are updated weekly and include 27 plus meals and 34 plus add-ons. You could pretty much choose your favorite meals or let them craft your order based on your taste preference and meal history. If you'd like to give it a go, use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use the code on the screen for 50% off your first box. Thank you Factor for sponsoring today's video, and let's head back to the video. If I were to recommend a lens for beginners, I think I would still recommend a 50mm lens or an f/50, just because it's much easier and you still get really good photos. And I know a lot of professionals still use an f/50, even in some clients, but I'm not saying that it's only for beginners. The 23mm lens is, of course, like, you also can get used to it, especially if you have a Fuji X100V. I mean, it all comes with a 35mm lens, so I think it's a good practice right away. But I would still recommend a 50mm lens if you're just starting. This video is not really a review for the 23mm lens, and it's not really a video saying bad stuff about the lens either. I think I'm just sharing my own opinion and my own experience with the lens, and so far I'm hesitant, but I'm still enjoying it and exploring the lens, and I can't really wait to take more photos with it. But in the next upcoming video, I'll be doing street photography, POV again, and a little bit more of like the portrait photography to see what it's capable of and what I'm capable of using the lens. So until then, thanks for watching the video.